Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you know, I'm Fielding Shredder, and I'm so excited to get to chat with you guys again in this form of content creation. So welcome to the new Shredder Studio. This is going to be a new form of content that I bring you guys. Just thought it would be a great idea to kind of share with you my thoughts, bring it to you maybe on a once-a-week basis, and just talk about what's going on in drifting, what's going on with me and shredder racing, and my career and the driving endeavors that I am pursuing, and all sorts of things that are embodied around that. So first and foremost, I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and following along on this journey. I know a lot of you are here from Hyperdrive, and that will be the first point that I bring up on this video here, is that my contract with Netflix is finally unlocked. And what I mean by that is I was not allowed to post, show video, talk about, or share any behind the scenes aspects of the show with you guys for 3 full years after the air date of Hyperdrive. So, you know, in the beginning I kind of posted a couple videos that got a lot of you here on my channel to begin with, and I unfortunately got my hand slapped a bit for that, and that's okay. You know, that's how production, Hollywood, corporate world is. I get it. But, you know, as we are now here finally at the termination of my contract, I can share all the goodies with you guys. So be looking out for on the channel some great new behind the scenes footage. I'm gonna talk to you about my account of what I felt, what I was thinking, all the stuff I went through on the show, and be able to show you a lot of the behind the scenes footage that I've been gathering and collecting over, you know, my entire time there, and finally get to show you guys here on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, share it with your friends, and let them all know. And I'm sure there are thousands of you who have not seen Hyperdrive yet, or maybe your friends haven't. You definitely make sure to show them the show so that they know what the hell we're talking about. You know, I want to know what you guys want to see. I'm going to kind of give you a list of the type of videos that I have ready to make about Hyperdrive, and then you guys tell me what you want to see down in the comments below. So one is going to be how I built the headlights that are on my car that are, you know, light up and flashy and cool. What it took to repair my car after that big crash that you saw. Just going through each episode individually, sharing with you my, you know, internal thoughts and feelings and how I went through that episode. I'll show you the track map that they gave us beforehand. I'll talk about each individual obstacle and kind of what I was thinking while going through that insanity. And lots of other little things like the relationships between the other drivers or the other, you know, crew with the producers and the showrunner, and all the different, you know, moving pieces to that puzzle that were that insane TV show. Beyond that, I've got a lot of exciting things to announce about my own personal career and what I'm doing with shredder racing and with my driving endeavors. If you're in the industry or you're in the world of motorsports, you know that tires have gone through some dramatic changes in the past 2 years or so. We've got a lot of new regulations, new tariffs coming from our government. You know, anything that's being shipped in from Asian and foreign countries, they're going to be highly taxed. So the price of tires have gone up significantly, which I'm sure you're all feeling and noticing. And, you know, if you're a drifter, that's our number one expense. We have a ton of tires that we go through, and that is kind of the most consumable item. So if tires go up 50%, well, your budget has to rapidly increase, and, you know, that's tough to do as it is already. So unfortunately, I am not sponsored by Kenda Tire anymore. And with that being said, I still love Kenda tires. I've always loved them. I have a huge amount of appreciation and respect for them. They were supporting me for many years, I think about 8 or 9 years total. Even well before, you know, my big break with Hyperdrive, they were still a believer in me and my program, and I'm eternally grateful for that. I owe a lot of what I have built today for their support over the years, and I am very, very thankful, and still absolutely love those tires, and will just continue to be buying them retail as needed. So huge shout out to them and thank you. But unfortunately for me, I'm just no longer a sponsored athlete or a supported athlete by them. It wasn't because of any bad terms to squash any of your, you know, potential speculation. It was simply because they just didn't have the supply to support me as one of their drivers. And the reason why is because, you know, they have been going through their own internal issues with, you know, shipping and manufacturing and the tariffs and all of the supply chain issues that we are all feeling, unfortunately, in this current economic climate. And because of that, you know, they don't have the extra tires to give me. They can't give me a discount on them because they're back ordered for all their wholesale dealers. And it just was not a business. It didn't make any business financial sense for them, and I totally get it. I have no hard feelings about it. Of course I'm bummed out and I don't get to burn up a bunch of cheap tires, but that's how it goes. I will adapt and overcome and just continue on this journey. So you guys have seen that I'm continuing to drive and drift, and of course I want to do that, and that will kind of get me into segue me into the next point I want to talk about, which is what I'm developing my driving career into. So I've been drifting for a long time, over 10 years now. I've had an amazing time, tons of incredible experiences, tons of just unbelievable memories. I got to drive all around the world. I've got to drift in all sorts of different environments with all sorts of different people, different cars, different tracks, everything. It's just unreal, and I'm just super hyped and grateful on that too. And I will continue to do so. But I have been focused a little bit more on developing my skill set. So I can drift. I know I can drift. I can slide a car around pretty much any corner at any speed with a lot of confidence. And that is something that I've pretty well honed my skill on. But I want to start developing my racecraft abilities and kind of broadening my scope of driving abilities. So you may have seen on my channel, I've already started to go do a little bit of wheel-to-wheel racing and a little bit of road racing. I did a Champ Car Series race in a Miata. I've done a couple other endurance races that were just like a, long form wheel-to-wheel race on a team. I also got to go do some wheel-to-wheel racing at Daytona International in Florida with a team named RRT, and that was in an E36 BMW. You may have seen that on the channel as well. Super, super cool experience. Really am starting to develop my skill set for racing and wheel-to-wheel applications, and enjoying the hell out of it, to be honest. What I like about it over drifting is that I get to be in the driver's seat for a long stint. It's an endurance race. It's a 14-hour race, and I get to drive for multiple hour or hour and a half long stints. So I'm in the car, I'm wheeling it, I'm comfortable and getting to really, battle it out on track for longer than a 30 or 40 second lap like in drifting. So it's a totally different, type of racing. What I really like about it is I'm able to take my skill set I've learned from drifting and apply it to wheel-to-wheel racing. So I'm confident being close in close quarters with other cars and drivers. I'm able to, feel the attitude of the car and know and not panic whenever it gets a little bit out of sorts or it starts to slide a little bit. And then also, apply that aggression to taking a corner or attacking another driver in a respectful manner, of course. But, being able to apply those techniques has really been rewarding and something that I'm continuing to enjoy developing. So look forward to me doing a little bit more of that. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I know it's a totally different visual aspect from from drifting. It looks totally different. It's a lot more exciting for me as the driver than I think when you're watching it, except when you see a crash or a pass or anything like that. But I'm trying to bring it to you in the most exciting way I can. So let me know, again, down in the comments what you like, what you don't like, and we'll make sure to continue on that as well. So that being said, I'm going to continue to branch out with my skill set and do some rally and some off-road. You guys may or may not know I work at Rally Ready as one of the instructors, and I've continued to enjoy that, for the last 8 or so years. It's a lot of fun getting to slide around on dirt and watch out for trees and use a completely different drivetrain like a front wheel or all-wheel drive car, and then totally different application or technique of the inputs with your hands and your feet and your eyes and everything like that, but still maintain sliding and drifting, for lack of a better phrase, and hauling ass around these dirt corners with banks and jumps and berms and trees as well. So continue to look out for that, and I will continue to produce that content as it comes across, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it just as much as I am. Coming back to the hyperdrive thing, I haven't posted a ton about it on my social and other things, not just because I was not really allowed to with contract, but I also didn't want you guys to think I was a one-trick pony, and a lot of you fans and friends and followers are new to me and my lifestyle, and so you may have only thought that I was on this, show that came out one time, and that was all I've got. But I've continued to drift and drive and race and do a lot of cool stuff. I got to drive at Grid Life, and I've competed in Lone Star Drift. Hell, I won the championship last year for the grand prize of getting to go on an all-expense-paid trip to Ebisu, which I'm extremely excited about. I've driven at Indy Drift, I've driven Clutch Kickers competition, Grid Life, all kinds of different events throughout the country, and had a great time doing it. And I'm sure I've met a couple of you guys along the way as well. So I'll continue to do that and continue to tour around the country and maybe the world a bit more as the travel restrictions open up, and get to, you know, enjoy that driving lifestyle in every aspect that I can. And I've maintained this for many, many years, that I just want to drive as much as I can. I don't really care about being famous. I don't care about making a bunch of money or owning a bunch of cool stuff. What I want to do is enrich my life with experiences of driving. So I want to drive all the coolest cars on all the coolest tracks with all the coolest drivers, and that's what really excites me and gets me going. So look forward to more of that, and I will continue on that career path, and that's what I care about the most. So I know a lot of you are asking, like, why am I not in Formula D? And that's a great question. You know, it's not that I'm not qualified. I have actually in the past earned a Formula D license, a pro license, but I never utilized it because in order to drive FD, you have to be hyper focused on just that as the goal. So it's so expensive, prohibitively expensive for me especially. It costs about $100K to run that series, you know, 6 figures, maybe more. It depends on how far you have to travel. It depends on if you crash. It depends on what level of car your car is built to, or if you have to build an entirely new one. And that is not a you know, expanded figure. That is a real figure. In fact, many teams spend way more than that and, you know, don't even blink an eye. And I'm just not made of that material. You know, it's not that I don't want it. I would love to go and drive with the best in the world. It's that I just can't financially afford it, and I don't want to dedicate the amount of resources it takes to do that, because that would take away from my real ultimate goal of driving as many cool cars, as many cool tracks, as many fun laps with as many cool people as I can. Because the reality of Formula D and professional drifting is you're only going to do about a dozen laps in a whole weekend, and that weekend is going to cost between $10,000 and $15,000 usually at minimum, and that's if you don't crash. So when you factor that in, 10 to 15 grand for, you know, 10 to 15 laps, it's about $1,000 a lap, and that's no joke. That's a real cost, a real figure, and that is an insane amount of money for what I feel like 30-second lap, $1,000. Like, oh my God, that's nuts. And it's very cool. I have utmost respect for those drivers, and all of them are really giving it all. They're very passionate about drifting, which of course I am as well. It's just not something that I can justify with my own means and resources to do, because I want to be able to take that $1,000 a lap and spread it out to 100 laps, or, you know, or more if I can. And that's my goal. So that's your answer as to why I'm not an FD. If you want to stroke a check for 100 or 150 grand for me to go run FD, I'll do it. I'll gladly sign up for that. But as it is right now, no one's beating down my door to write me big fat checks, and that's just the reality of the world today. So that's my answer for why I'm not an FD. And if you have any further questions, feel free to ask them down in the comments below. So on to the next subject here is traveling and my schedule. I've got some really cool events coming up. One of them is GearHead Fest. It's in Ohio. It's a big car show and festival. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to be out there as a guest and a host. So if you guys are in that area, definitely come check it out. I'll put the link in the description below as to, you know, the details of when and where and that sort of thing. I'll have merch there. There'll be posters that I'm signing and a nice little meet and greet. So definitely come check it out. We'll have a great time, and I'll get to meet all of you guys from Ohio in the automotive scene. I've already got to do a bunch of other cool events, like I just came back from ZCON. It's a big Z enthusiast festival where I got to drift and race all throughout Alabama and Birmingham area. It was a lot of fun. We went to Barber, which I've always been wanting to go to, and I got to rip the Core Culture Z as well as my recently finished TXSL 350Z, and both of those I have just are not race cars, let's be honest. They're not meant for racing. The alignment's not for racing. None of it is a race car, but I was able to still go out there and have a good time. I even got to pass a couple cars, and I have a big thank you to Uprev, the tuning company, for that. They helped me build the car and helped tune the car and helped get me out there. They're a big sponsor and supporter of ZCON every year. This year I was their guest driver, and I really enjoyed that time with them, and it was a lot of fun. So look out for more of that. Hopefully I'll do another ZCON next year, and I'll continue to build and develop the car with Uprev, and eventually I'm going to come out with a big video series once I get finished editing it and you guys will get to see what went into building that Texas Street Legal Z. So a lot of you are wondering maybe what happened to my S14. I have been continuing to beat that thing mercilessly, and she is not happy with me, and I have to unfortunately admit that the motor is finally too tired to go on. That's been the most reliable 2JZ, I think, on planet Earth. It's gone through 10 years of absolute abuse by me. Now, I did take good care of it with good oils from Redline Oil, good tuning from Trackstar Motorworks, and good maintenance throughout the years. But you guys have seen me drive that thing. It's the same engine from Hyperdrive. It's the same engine for 11 seasons of Lone Star Drift, and it's been through many, many other events and competitions. I took it through 4 drift weeks. I stood on limiter for who knows how many collective minutes or hours, and that thing has put up with all my bullshit and has finally said, enough's enough. I'm tired. I need to rebuild. So that's what's next on that. Unfortunately, it's going to be down for the next couple months while I get the engine rebuilt, and that's just how it goes. So thankfully and luckily, I finished my Z in time, so I'll be competing in the Z and continuing to drive it for different drift events as I rebuild the engine in the 240. I also have a lot of really cool other things coming up, which I can't quite announce yet, but I'm working really hard, trying my hardest to not give up on this career. It's extremely difficult, especially when you don't have rich parents or you don't hit the lottery. And so it's been difficult, but perseverance is my middle name, and I'm continuing to kick ass and work hard and do what I can to go on this journey. I'm on the lookout for new sponsors constantly. In fact, right now I've got some talks with some tire companies, and I'm trying to figure out a potential new tire sponsor, so be on the lookout for some announcements soon. Hopefully I can put something together, and if it does work out, it's going to open up a whole new window or door of opportunities for me, and I'm even more excited about that. As much as I have gone through the drift world with Kenda, they don't make a racing tire. They don't do anything in the pro racing world. And so in order for me to grow into that community, I'm going to need to find someone that can support that. So I'm looking for that, and you guys should look forward to that, because I'm really, really excited of that will come and what that will bring. And I know I'm being a little bit cryptic here, but it is something that has been a long time coming. And again, I really want to go racing and go do cool stuff and drive cool cars or trucks, and just be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna be updating you guys as quickly as I can. I got this new camera. Hopefully you're enjoying my new look here in the studio in 4K, and I just want to continue to share it with you guys. So I'm gonna try and bring you an update, hopefully every Friday, something like this, where I can kind of give you the rundown on what's new, what's going on, and if you guys enjoy it, then let me know and I'll continue to put in the effort to do it. So huge thank you to everyone who's been along this journey with me. Huge thank you to all my sponsors, especially the bigger ones like We Are Core Culture. They have been a huge part of my program for the last year. They've gone above and beyond in terms of support, and they've treated me like family, and I'm eternally grateful. So you guys make sure to check out their products and show some love for the people that show support for me. And then of course all the other sponsors and brands and friends and people that have dedicated time, and artists like some of you that have reached out and drawn or painted or developed something for me. I love it all, and sometimes it doesn't get showcased appropriately, but just know that it doesn't go unappreciative, and I'm very, very thankful for all the love and support you guys have. So that's it. Just a quick little update. Hopefully you guys saw some of the new reels I've been posting. That is a new thing for me as well. I've been developing and editing those as quick as I can. It's hard to keep up with all this stuff. It's hard to maintain a work-life balance. It's hard to maintain relationships with friends and family and loved ones, and that's something that is a little different for me. I like to have my personal life private, so I appreciate you guys respecting that. And my public life with drifting and racing is all fair game, and all the memes and so forth are I can take them with a grain of salt and laugh as well. So at least at the funny ones. So thanks again for everything. Thank you for subscribing and watching this short little update. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you're excited as I am to see what's new, and I'll see you guys on the next one.